My name is Joshua Mugabi. I welcome you to topic 4, respiration. Our learning outcome A, examine the relationship between the structure of the mitochondrion and the stages of cellular respiration in living organisms. We are going to look at learning activity B. Learners individually search for and discuss the structural relationship of the mitochondrion to its functions and the hydrolysis of adenosine triphosphate ATP to release energy. Using concept mapping, learners present their work in a class plenary. Mitochondrion function and ATP hydrolysis. Item 1. High energy demand cells. Electron micrograph show that muscles and liver cells contain numerous mitochondria with densely folded inner membranes. Task. Explain why these cells contain many mitochondria. Relate the structure of the mitochondrion to its energy-producing function. Explain why these cells contain many mitochondria. Muscles and liver cells have high metabolic activity and require large amount of energy. Mitochondria are responsible for ATP production through aerobic respiration. Relate the structure of the mitochondrion to its energy-producing function. The double membrane creates compartments for respiration. Inner membrane contain electron transport chain. Crystal increase surface area for ATP synthesis. The matrix contains enzyme for the Krebs cycle. Mitochondrion functions and ATP hydrolysis. Item 2. Crystal and ATP production. A poisoned cell shows damage to the inner mitochondrial membrane. Task. State the function of crystal. Explain how damage to crystal affects ATP production. State the functions of crystal. Crystal increase the surface area for attachment of the electron carriers and the ATP synthase. Explain how the damage of crystal affects ATP production. Reduced surface area leads to fewer electron transport chains. Proton gradient formation is reduced. Less ATP is synthesized. Mitochondrion functions and ATP hydrolysis. Item 3. ATP hydrolysis and energy release. A contracting muscle fiber rapidly uses ATP. Task: define ATP. Write the equation for ATP hydrolysis. Explain how energy is released during ATP hydrolysis. Define ATP. ATP is adenosine triphosphate, is a universal energy carrier molecule in cells. Write the equation for ATP hydrolysis. ATP plus hydrogen will give us ADP plus inorganic phosphate plus energy. Explain how energy is released during ATP hydrolysis. Energy is released when the terminal phosphate bond is broken. The released energy is used for cellular activities such as muscle contraction. Mitochondrion functions and ATP hydrolysis item 4. Role of mitochondria in ATP supply. A cell with damaged mitochondria shows reduced activity. Task: explain why ATP production is reduced. Relate mitochondrial structure to continuous ATP supply. Explain why ATP production is reduced. Aerobic respiration occurs in the mitochondria. Damage prevents efficient oxidative phosphorylation. Relate mitochondrial structure to continuous ATP supply. Crystals allow maximum ATP synthesis. Matrix enzymes support Krebs cycle. Proton gradient across the inner membrane drives ATP synthase. Mitochondrion functions and ATP hydrolysis item 5. Application to daily life and health. Athletes have more mitochondria in their muscles cells compared to non-athletes. Task: explain this observation. Relate ATP hydrolysis to muscle performance. Explain this observation. Training increases mitochondrial number and efficiency. Enhances ATP production capacity. relate ATP hydrolysis to muscle performance. ATP hydrolysis provides energy for actin-myosin interaction. More ATP allows sustained muscle contraction and endurance. Marking emphasis. Correctly link mitochondrial structure to function. Accurately describe ATP hydrolysis. Use correct chemical equations and terms. Apply concepts to physiological examples. Demonstrate clear structure-function relationship. Summary. The mitochondrion is structurally adapted for efficient ATP production through its double membrane, crystal, and enzyme-rich matrix. ATP stores energy in phosphate bonds, and its hydrolysis releases energy required for cellular processes such as muscle contraction, active transport, and biosynthesis. Thank you very much for participating in topic 4, respiration. Learning outcome A, examine the relationship between the structure of the mitochondrion and the stages of cellular respiration in living organisms. We have been looking at learning activity B. Learners individually search for and discuss the structural relationship of the mitochondrion to its functions and hydrolysis of adenosine triphosphate ATP to release energy. Using concept mapping, learners present their work in the class plenary. If this has been useful to you, please visit me at Mugabi Joshua Biology on YouTube.